Hey, what is going on today, guys? VR&R back, and today we're going to be getting on a new video series. I'm going to be rebuilding I'm not totally sure what year it is. It's probably between 1993 and I think '01 they made them. Honda 300EX Sport Tracks. We're going to be doing a top end on the engine. We're going to be putting a Wiseco high compression kit in it. All the goodies, valve seals, we're going to do the head and everything. And in today's video, we're going to be redoing the head. We're going to be pulling the valves out, we're going to lap the valves, we're going to check for pitting, we're going to replace the valve seals, and we're going to make sure all the threads and all the exhaust and intake ports are all good to go. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this. So right here we got our cylinder head. It's already all taken apart. I had it all saran wrapped up. So what we're basically going to be doing today is we're going to pull all these valves out. We're going to lap the valves. We're going to go through. We're going to check and chase all the threads on the exhaust and intake. You can see right here already that somebody has put, this is a 6mm bolt. It's supposed to be an 8mm bolt like this one. And it's also crooked. So we're going to have to fix that. We're going to install new valve seals. I've got, right here in the package, I've got a set of Kibble White valve seals. So we're going to go ahead and be installing those. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into this. Alright, so let's go ahead and just start pulling these valves out. So what tool you guys are probably going to want is a valve compressor tool, something like this. You could probably rent one at like an AutoZone maybe, or just buy this. I mean, this was only probably like $30. You can go to Harbor Freight and get one. But basically what we're going to be doing is you're going to take this set and you're going to match up. Like that's the one we're going to want right there. And I'm going to get this tool set up and we'll go ahead and pull one of the valves out. Alright guys, so I got my tool set up. I'll probably start with the intake valves since they're right here. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to put your tool on. This side goes onto the head of the valve. And then you're going to go ahead and just tighten this. Tighten that right up. Okay. Alright, so we got it tightened up. Basically what we're looking at. Just got that on the head of the valve and that on the face of the valve. Alright, let's get you down a little closer so you can see what's happening. Basically, we're just going to tighten this valve compressor tool, until the two little keepers pretty much fall out. This is very, take this slow. You don't want to lose the valve keepers. Alright guys, I had some technical difficulties, but I got the valves out. I'm just going to show you guys how to do this last one. Basically what you're going to do now is once you get the two little keepers out, they look something like this. There's two of them. You take those two little keepers out once you compress the spring, and then you can go ahead and just loosen your valve compressor tool. Just keep loosening it basically until the valve, basically just take it out, you know what I'm saying. So just keep loosening, loosening, loosening. Okay, and we can go ahead and get our valve compressing tool out of the way, and then basically what you have is the top cap a larger spring and a smaller spring inside of that. Make sure you keep your exhaust valve springs separate from your intake springs. I'm not totally sure if they're different or not, but it doesn't hurt to keep the parts. And then you can go ahead and just push your valve seat and go ahead and pull your valve out. And as you guys can see, this is definitely in need of a valve grind. So we're going to go ahead and get set up now, and I'll show you guys how I grind the valves on these. Alright, but before I go any farther into lapping the valves, I'm going to go ahead and clean up all the carbon deposits on this cylinder head. So I'm basically going to just soften it up with some brake clean. It'll be a pain in the ass trying to get it all out with brake clean. This stuff's pretty caked on there. That's just going to help, some type of solvent. And then I'm going to take, I got a brass wire wheel. Do not use a steel wire wheel on this aluminum head. You will damage the head. I'm not worried about how the valve seats are. We're going to be regrinding those. So we're just going to go ahead and Alright, now that just took off all the excess stuff, so now I'm going to get in here with a Scotch-Brite pad with some brake clean and scrub the rest of it. My wire wheel's a little big. Basically just Scotch-Brite and some brake clean. Alright, after centuries later, guys, we have got the cylinder head looking about as clean as it needs to be. You don't have to clean it. I mean, it's really not going to affect anything. It's just more of a appeal, a look, you know. You want it to look nice when you rebuild something, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and I got to clean all the gook, especially off the exhaust valves, off before we can lap them. So I'm going to go ahead and go clean these valves up quick, and I'll get back with you guys. Alright, so let's show you guys how I do the valves, how I lap the valves. You're going to need valve grinding compound, and the way I do it is with a drill. You can use the wooden tool with the suction cup, but I'm too impatient for that, and it takes forever, and I get a better result with a drill. So basically we're going to start with our intake valves. And you're just going to take, you don't need a lot, just a little bit of the valve grinding compound, and you're just going to roll it around the valve seat. Well, not valve seat, but the sealing surface of the valve. And then we're going to go ahead and take our, I always like to put a dab of oil onto the actual valve stem of the guide, because you're going to be rotating the valve. And then you're going to go ahead and just slide your valve into your valve guide. And then I'm going to take my drill and I'm going to tighten. I'm going to put my chuck onto the end of that valve. You don't have to go too crazy tight with the drill chuck. And then you're going to just go ahead and spin your valve over, and you're just going to hear that grinding. Let's see if I can get you guys in there and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, you guys see how the valve's open right now? Go in both directions. Put the drill in reverse for a bit. Put the drill in forward for a bit. Alright, now we'll go ahead and take our drill off, and we'll pull that valve out and see how it's looking. Go ahead and get yourself a rag and just wipe. Yeah, this looks like that's all that'll need. And then make sure, you guys are going to want to make sure you get all this valve grinding compound out of your cylinder head and off your valves. Alright, so what you're looking for basically, I know my camera sucks, but you set nice even groove, no pitting, and the same with the seat on the head, and then you're good to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that and get all these valves done. And another quick tip here, guys, when you're doing your valves, if you're going to plan on doing all the valves, or you're going to grind down all the valves before reinstalling them, make sure you organize them and number, just to remember which one they go to. So I'm basically going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take my valve out. I'm going to set that there. Then I'm going to put a 1. And then this is going to be 2. Know what I'm saying? Alright guys, so now that we have our valves grinded and reseated, we need to go ahead and replace our valve seals. I got a new set of valve seals right here, so we have to get the old ones off first. Depending on how old they are, they might come off easy, or they might not. Let's see if I can get them off with these needle noses. There's a little metal ring on them that holds them in place. Go ahead and pop that out of there. Just kind of, yeah, these are pretty old. Just kind of give it a little bit of a twist, and just like that, pops off. And then basically, with our new ones, just gonna put a little dab of oil around that. I like to use 3-in-1 oil. And then you're just gonna slide that puppy right back on there. I'll show you. They should pop on relatively easy. Just like that, guys. Got the new valve seals installed, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this head back together, and I'll get back to you guys when it's done. Alright, here's the finished product on the valves, guys. Got the valves back in. Got all the keepers back in. Can't really see the valve seals because the lighting's terrible. But now I'm going to go ahead and attack this stud. Somebody, I haven't got the flashlight. I don't know how hard, well it is to see, but somebody broke off a stud in the head and then they drilled it and tapped it for, I don't even think that's metric. That's, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get a 17/64 drill bit to drill that out for M6, or not M6, M8, sorry. And let's get right to it. If you guys are planning on ever putting your cylinder head in your vise, you be very careful. I'm basically just putting this in here to hold it in place. It's not going to be tight at all. Just to hold the head down. Just till it stops moving. That's it. Alright. Alright guys, I've got a 17/64 drill bit. I'm going to attempt to drill it out, and if I can't get it to drill out properly, I'll dribble it to the next size up and we'll put a time cert in it. But being it's the exhaust valve, I really would want to avoid a time cert because red Loctite does not like heat. So we'll see what happens. I don't like that they drilled the hole in it though. I think I actually might get a Dremel first and kind of Dremel that out, and then we'll go from there. Alright, we'll try and run a tap through that. Alright, let's see how we're looking. I'll clean this tap out quick and put a dab of grease on it. Alright, that looks pretty decent. Let's see if M8 will thread into it nicely. Got myself a new 8.8. Oh yeah. I don't know, the threads are still a little crunchy. I'm going to chase it a few more times. Let me grab a wrench and see if the threads are the way in first. Nah. Something don't feel right with that. This is what I was kind of worried about, guys, because it was drilled off center to begin with. We may be leaning towards the time insert. I don't know though, because the tap goes all the way in pretty decently. I think that'll work. Kind of want to drill it out a little bit more. How far do the threads go on this one? Oh, they only go in. Oh, okay. So I think we're good, guys. We are. The thread's pretty good by hand. I don't know, that one threads in pretty far. Alright guys, I think that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys are having good luck working on your machines. And all this at your own risk. I'm not a professional. Just giving you guys some info. Next video will probably be replacing the rocker arms, camshaft, and then we'll probably be starting to put together the actual top end itself. So, like, comment, subscribe, and see you next video.